Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Amateur Baking Hour. I am your curly haired host and your favorite baker, Jaritzas, and today we're going to be making some maple cheddar bacon muffins? Not muffins, biscuits, haha. Maple cheddar bacon biscuits. It's semi-sweet, it's not on the dessert side, it's on the other side, and why not, right? So let's jump right in. Let's get started with the ingredients, shall we? We're gonna start with 8 slices of bacon diced, because we are going to fry this up. Next, we need 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. There's a little bit more than 1 cup because cheese is life. You should all know this. Cheese is life. Next, we are going to have 4 teaspoons of baking powder. Not baking soda, baking powder. Hold on. We're going to have 1/2 teaspoon of salt, kosher salt. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. 3/4 cup of butter, frozen. So make sure that your butter is frozen before we start this. Put it in the freezer for maybe 20 minutes while you get all the other ingredients. Put this in the freezer first so that it's solid. After, you're going to have 1.5 cups of buttermilk right here. And next, you're going to have 6 tablespoons of maple syrup divided. Divided meaning that in 1 ramekin, you're gonna put 4 tablespoons. In the other ramekin, you're gonna put 2 tablespoons, making it 6. There's a reason for that. And finally, 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. In the block, like that. Actually, you're supposed to melt it, so we're gonna melt it in a bit. You're also gonna need one of these, a grater. There you go. We're gonna need a grater to grate the frozen butter. You're gonna need a skillet. Don't judge mine, okay? It's been used because we cook in this house. You're gonna need a few spatulas. We're gonna need my handy dandy whisk. And of course, a ruler, just for measuring purposes at the end. A rolling pin, this is mine. And a couple of bowls, okay? Now, what is the first thing that we do? We're going to set our oven to 450 degrees, 450. Let's do that now. Once your oven is ready to go, we're going to turn on the skillet to a medium high. Right there, let it warm up. And for 6 to 8 minutes, we are going to fry our bacon. 6 to 8 minutes roughly, it really depends on how crispy you'd like it. Drain all the fat and then place it on a surface on a napkin covered plate. So I'm gonna fry these, drain the fat, place it on this so it can cool down, and then we're gonna continue, okay? That was fun. Thank you for joining me. I hope your bacon looks delicious and nutritious. Mine did. I actually used maple flavored bacon, if that makes sense. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Just to enhance the flavor of maple in the biscuits. So now that we have that, let us get our big bowl. The bowl that I have right here. We're gonna grab a spatula and we're gonna start mixing in the dry ingredients. Let's start with the 4 cups of flour. Right there, followed by the 4 tablespoons of baking soda. We're gonna add the 1, I'm sorry, that was not baking soda, that was baking powder. I don't know why I keep doing that. the 1 teaspoon of baking soda, the 1.5 teaspoon of kosher salt. We're also going to add the cheddar. And let's mix this up first, and then we're going to add the bacon just so that we give it a little bit more time to cool. So yeah. Alrighty. I think that looks mixed enough. Now let's add the bacon. I hope you guys put it in a plate with a napkin so that it drained the excess oil that it might have had. That is the sound of my oven that is now ready. Alright, let's pour this in. Crispy, crunchy bacon. Let's put you back over here. And with our same spatula, we're going to be mixing in. Today, we do not need to use a hand mixer. We do not need to use a stand mixer. Everything is pretty simple. We're gonna use our muscles. Yes, folks, if you haven't gone to the gym, it's muscle time. Alrighty, now let's get our butter, our frozen butter, and let's start grating this in using the big hole right here. Make sure not to grate your fingers. It's tricky, but work with me, all right? By the way, if you do hear some noise in the background, I do have my family over. We're having a barbecue today, which is why I'm making these biscuits. So never mind that noise. It's all good. Let us grate this butter. Here we go. Ooh. Okay, so a year and a half later, we have grated this cheese. I did not nick myself, thank God, but it did start melting. I'm pretty sure you guys have had the same issues, so it is what it is. Now, you have to grab a rubber spatula. This is just gonna help blend everything together and just mix it in as much as you possibly can, as thoroughly as you can. Once we have mixed everything as much as we can, let's set this aside. We're gonna grab a medium-sized bowl, this one for me, and we are going to whisk together the 1.5 cup of buttermilk right in there with the 4 tablespoons of maple syrup. Remember, it's the 4 tablespoons of maple syrup that we're going to whisk together. Let's grab another handy spatula just to scrape everything in. Perfect. I'm gonna grab my makeshift whisk and I'm just going to whisk everything together. Make sure it's nice and blended before adding the wet ingredients to the flour ingredients. Now, it's pretty nice, solid. Excess flour, I took excess flour out, and with the excess flour I'm going to flour my surface just so that I can take the dough out and knead it. You're gonna knead it for about 3 to 4 times before you take your rolling pin, or in my case the bottle of wine, and roll it out to 1 1/4 inch altogether. repeated it about 3 to 4 times, maybe 5 or 6 in my case. Grab your rolling pin, grab mine, and here we go. Make sure to leave your rolled out dough a little bit on the thick side so that it rises and looks super pretty. Now, last thing you're gonna wanna do, hopefully you already have your pan ready to go. Your oven's ready to go. So now your pan, grab your pan. I have it right over here with parchment paper. I think it's the easiest for us to use right now. And if you have a cookie cutter that's 2 to 2.5 inches, phenomenal. I applaud you. I have a mess in my house, so I don't have it. What I'm gonna use instead is a mason jar that measures 2.5. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut out as many as I can, redough it until I fill up my cookie sheet. And then after we do that, we're gonna put it in the freezer for 15 minutes. So let's get to cutting. These are ready to go in the freezer. Remember, put it in the freezer for 15 minutes so it can get nice and hard. I know I have a few more on my surface. I'm gonna put it on the other cookie sheet that I have. Freezer, 15 minutes, and we'll be back then. Hi guys, so the 15 minutes are up, and now we're gonna go from freezer straight to oven for another 15 to 18 minutes. I'm gonna pop that in there. Give me a second. If you have a phone, use your phone to put the timer. You kind of just have to eye it as well, as long as they pop up and they are golden brown, between 15 to 18 minutes. While that's getting done, we're going to get the 2 remaining tablespoons of maple syrup and we're going to put it in a small bowl. And we're also going to get the 2 tablespoons of butter that's melted and we're going to mix that in there. This is going to serve as the glaze for the biscuits as soon as the biscuits are done. Something super quick, super simple. Is it? Have it so that it looks a little bit like that, and then you just set it aside. All right, so the biscuits are ready, and I have my brother-in-law.
What's up, y'all?
He's gonna taste these with me, so we're gonna grab one out.
Let's try it out.
We're gonna put some of the glaze on it. Remember, this is the maple and butter glaze. Let's move this out of the way. It's a little bit hot, but I need your honest to God opinion.
Okay.
All right, ready?
That means hot.
You got this, kid. All right, let's try it out.
Pretty good. All right.
Pretty good?
Oh.
Are we tasting everything we're supposed to be tasting? You're looking for what? Bacon, maple syrup,
Taste the maple. What else is in it?
cheddar.
I don't taste the bacon that much.
Oh my God, so clearly we have to put more bacon in. The recipe calls for 8 slices of bacon. For you carnivores and bacon lovers, maybe 10 or 12, or a whole pack. I don't know, it's up to you. Thank you so much for joining me. You can definitely take this plate with you. And thank you all for joining me on another episode of Amateur Baking Hour. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it wasn't sweet, but I mean, I need to change it up, do something different. Join me again next week for another episode of something delicious and nutritious. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, and share this video with all of your friends. You're gonna find this recipe at the end of the video. Thank you and happy baking. Bye. Baking, excuse me, we're going to get the remaining 2 tablespoons of all right.
Just on camera.
You're gonna be fine. You ready?
Wait, you're recording?
Yeah, it's been recorded. I haven't
Okay.
stopped it.
Go ahead.
That was fun. My house now smells like bacon. I'm so excited. I used a maple bacon. Yeah, maple bacon. They sell at the stores. I think you guys might know what it is. Just to enhance the maple flavor of the biscuits that we're making. So let us continue on our journey.